They laughed when they sent the invitation. 10 years later, they still remembered her as the quiet girl in worn-out shoes, the one who ate lunch alone and never raised her hand. To them, she would always be the class loser. But on the night of the reunion, as music played and old jokes filled the air, a distant thumping sound grew louder. Conversation stopped, heads turned toward the sky, and that's when everything they thought they knew fell apart. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps true story tales bring more real, emotional stories to life. Stories that remind us why kindness still matters. Back in high school, Emily Carter was invisible, not because she wanted to be, but because life had taught her to stay quiet. Her father left when she was 8. Her mother worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, just to keep the lights on. Emily wore hand-me-down clothes and carried the same old backpack for years. Kids noticed. Teenagers always do. They called her names behind her back, sometimes to her face. Loser, charity case, why do you even try? Emily tried to ignore it. She kept her head down, focused on her grades, and spent her afternoons at the library because going home meant sitting alone in a small apartment, waiting for her mom to come back exhausted. School wasn't a safe place, but it was predictable. The worst part wasn't the bullies who laughed loudly. It was the ones who smiled politely and pretended not to see her. Except for one person. Mrs. Anderson, the English teacher, noticed Emily's essays. They were raw, emotional, and honest. One afternoon, she asked Emily to stay after class. "You have a voice," Mrs. Anderson said gently. "Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." That sentence stayed with Emily for years. Still, high school ended the same way it had begun, quietly. No yearbook signatures filled with inside jokes. No big farewell hugs. Emily graduated and slipped out of town with a single suitcase and a heart full of doubt. Most of her classmates stayed connected. They went to college together, partied together, and later added each other on social media. Emily didn't. She worked. She studied. She failed sometimes. She cried a lot. But she didn't quit. College wasn't easy. Emily worked nights at a diner and attended classes during the day. Some days she survived on coffee and hope. There were moments when she almost gave up, when she felt that maybe everyone had been right about her. But then she remembered Mrs. Anderson's words. "You have a voice." Emily discovered something unexpected in college, a love for problem solving. She studied engineering, then later technology. While others chased popularity, Emily chased purpose. Years passed. She didn't post her life online. She didn't brag. She built quietly. After graduation, she joined a small startup. While others saw risk, Emily saw possibility. She worked harder than anyone else, often staying late, helping coworkers without expecting credit. When the company struggled, she suggested solutions. When it succeeded, she shared the praise. Eventually, she started her own company. It wasn't flashy at first, just a simple idea focused on improving safety systems for hospitals and schools. Emily believed technology should protect people, not impress them. She hired people others overlooked, single parents, older workers, those who just needed a chance. The company grew, slowly at first, then suddenly. By the time she was 30, Emily Carter was wealthy, not just in money but in purpose. Still, she lived simply. No luxury cars, no spotlight interviews. She donated quietly and volunteered under a different name. Then one day, an email arrived. 10-year high school reunion. We'd love to see you. Emily stared at the screen. At first she laughed. Then she felt that old knot in her chest. She later learned the truth. A few former classmates remembered her. Not fondly, but mockingly. They thought it would be funny to invite the girl who never mattered. A reminder of how far they had come. Emily thought about deleting the email. But then she thought of the girl she used to be, the one who felt small and unwanted. And she decided she would go. The night of the reunion arrived. The event was held at a fancy hotel ballroom. Guests arrived in nice cars, dressed to impress. Old cliques reunited. laughing about the good old days. Someone asked, "Did Emily Carter even reply?" Another laughed. "If she comes, I hope she's not still weird." They didn't notice the sound at first. A low, steady thump echoed outside. Louder, closer. People moved toward the windows, and then they saw it. A helicopter descended smoothly onto the hotel's landing pad. The doors opened, and a woman stepped out, calm, confident, dressed simply yet elegantly. Emily Carter. Silence filled the room. Whispers spread like wildfire. "Is that her? No way. Who is she?" Emily walked in not with arrogance but with quiet grace. She smiled. She greeted people by name. Some stared at the floor, embarrassed. Others forced awkward smiles. Finally, someone asked the question everyone was thinking. "So, what do you do now?" Emily paused, then answered softly. "I run a company." That's all she said. Throughout the night, people learned the truth about her business, about her success, about how she'd funded scholarships and built safety systems that saved lives. No bragging, no revenge. Then, toward the end of the night, Emily asked for the microphone. The room went still. "I almost didn't come tonight," she said. "High school was a hard time for me. I felt invisible. And I know some of you didn't mean harm, but some of you did." A few faces turned red. She continued, her voice steady. "But I also learned something important. Kindness, even a small amount, can change a life. One teacher believed in me when no one else did, and that belief carried me forward." She smiled. "So tonight, instead of holding on to old hurt, I want to give something back." Emily announced a donation, a large one, to fund programs for students who struggled like she once had, right there in their hometown. The room filled with stunned silence. She ended with one final sentence. "Be careful how you treat people when you think they don't matter. You never know how far a little kindness can go." Emily left the reunion the same way she arrived, quietly. No gloating, no insults, just grace. That night, many people went home thinking about their own words, their own actions, and the people they had overlooked. Emily didn't need revenge. Her kindness was louder than any mockery ever had been, and her story reminds us of something simple, yet powerful. Kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything. So the next time you see someone being ignored, mocked, or underestimated, remember Emily. Choose compassion, choose empathy, choose kindness, because you never know whose life you might be lifting, or whose future you might be shaping. And that choice, it can echo for a lifetime.